Do you have something you just can't overcome, no matter how hard you try? Things like procrastination, social anxiety, quitting before you start, fear of failure, and the list goes on. But what if I told you there's a way you can bypass all of these issues? That's what some of the world's top performers have done. Athletes like Kobe Bryant and music icons like Beyoncé all share a common secret, a tool they have used to elevate their game and achieve the greatness you desire. It's not a magic pill or an exclusive coach or trainer. It's simply a method that is accessible to everyone watching this video. Meet Normal Alma. Normal Alma always wears plain clothes, is shy and scared. She spends a lot of time alone, reading, thinking, watching YouTube, and running. A very safe and predictable life. Waking up, working until noon to head out for a run, then isolate herself at night in her room, deep down in her book, closing off the world. She hates big crowds and noisy places, sticking to the company of a very few old friends. A predictable and comfortable life for sure, but also trapped in a bubble, keeping her from living her life to the fullest extent. Sometimes to be able to level up in your career or in life in general, you need to put yourself out there. And as you can imagine, that is very difficult for Normal Alma. So those rare times in the big crowds, you will find Normal Alma hiding in the corner or sitting quietly, saying absolutely nothing. Then there's Alter Alma. Extroverted and confident, wearing whatever she desires, she thrives in social settings and loves meeting new people and making friends. She's also the one you normally see. That's the power of an alter ego. You would never have seen me sit here in front of a camera, and you would have never seen your idols achieve what they have achieved. So the question is, how do we bridge the gap between Normal Alma and the Alter Alma? Now, I want you to imagine a time where you felt unstoppable, that nothing could stand in your way. Maybe it was a time where you hit a new PR, or nailed an exam, or had a constructive conversation. Now imagine being able to summon that power regardless of the circumstances. That's the ability these top performers have. You don't seriously think that athletes like Kobe Bryant only relied on their natural talents, though it might have gotten them far, but not to the top. Unfortunately, self-limitations and doubt stands in everyone's way to achieve greatness. It's a struggle you're not alone with, and Kobe Bryant was no exception. So the interesting question is, how was he able to use his alter ego to bypass things like procrastination, quitting, and other self-limiting beliefs? And how can you do it too? Well, you have probably caught on to the power of the alter ego effect, but to understand how to use it, we need to understand what it is. An alter ego is a psychological tool used to get past those initial doubts that separates your personal life with your performance. For Kobe, his alter ego was the Black Mamba, which he channels on the court, embodying an aggressive and cold-hearted approach that he needed to be able to let go of his emotions on the court so he could perform. Do you think it comes natural to any human to walk up on stage in front of tens of thousands of people? No, I highly doubt that. Beyoncé was raised in a very conservative Christian family. She started out as a very shy girl, just like Normal Alma. She would never have dreamt of stepping up on that stage, and the whole lifestyle was very contradicting to the one she was raised in. So in order to cope with these expectations, she crafted her alter ego, Sasha Fierce. This enables her to step out on stage fearlessly, being excited to perform, instead of being terrified like you and I would. By the looks of it, it might seem like cheating, that you're pretending to be someone you're not and not true to your authentic self. I thought so too, but let's reconsider that statement. Beyoncé was already a fantastic singer. that wasn't the problem. The problem was her self-doubt and overthinking stood in her way from performing at the level she was capable of. Sasha Fierce is, in reality, not an unauthentic self. It's a version of her that brings forward the qualities she already possesses and magnifies them. This trusted alter ego tricks the mind through psychology to let go of self-doubt and overthinking because it's so caught up thinking about what Sasha Fierce think, feel, and how she would act. I hope I have gotten you just as excited as I am to share this with you, because the top performers that we know and love aren't that different from you and I, and they too struggle with some of the same things. As you have come to learn, they have just learned a method to cope with this, and I wish the same thing for you. That's why I have researched it even further to give you a 3-step guide to how you can create your own alter ego. So there's basically 2 worlds to make it easy for you to understand. There's the real world, which we spend most of our time in, where the shy and insecure version of us live, and you might find normal Alma there, but I know you're dreaming of being something more, somebody more, someone that embodies the qualities you are missing, because else you wouldn't be here. That's your person taking you to the extraordinary world, a world where you're no longer tied to your old limiting beliefs and insecurities. In this world, you can be someone that doesn't procrastinate, doesn't quit anything, so obviously we need to figure out what your defining traits are in this extraordinary world. So step 1 is to specify the vision. Without any, we don't know which direction we need to go. So firstly, you have to envision where it is you want to be. What's the ultimate version of you? If you weren't held back by anything, let your imagination run wild, even if it seems impossible. This is probably one of the more difficult parts of this method, but I promise you it's gonna be worth it. I have gotten through, and so can you. But I know that reflecting, that can be hard. So here is some things you can consider. What are things that is going well that you want to continue doing? And what are things that you want to eliminate from your life? Please, for your own sake, don't rush this part, because it will be the predictor for your future success. Once you have gone through this first part, we move on to the part I think is more fun: creating an avatar. And here's what you need to do. Start by defining where. Where are you struggling? Where do you want this alter ego to show up and give you that extra boost of power? Let me try to give you some examples to help you out. For me, it was in social settings. For you, it might be in competitive situations where you have a hard time transferring your practical knowledge into a competitive and stressful situation. You might fumble with words you know all too well once you're up on that stage. Another example could be performing at milestones, giving it your last bit of energy to hit an average or a race time. You now know the places where you want this alter ego to show up and give you a little extra boost. Now it's time for what? What are the qualities and traits you want this alter ego to embody? The traits that are going to help you when you're struggling. In a competitive situation, it might be helpful to be calm, confident, and clear-headed. To perform at your milestones, it might be helpful to be disciplined and even aggressive and determined. Alright, that was the more practical part of creating this avatar. Let's move on to the more fun part. So let's turn our view outward and find out who embodies these qualities, or what embodies these qualities. It don't matter if it's a real or fictional character or animal, as long as you feel like it symbolizes the qualities you are missing. So obviously, to perform well in competitive situations, football players might be an obvious choice. They are all required to perform extraordinarily well under huge amount of pressure. And pushing yourself to hit that milestone, one person that comes up in my mind is for sure David Goggins, whose motto it is to stay hard, and he always strives to push himself through every pain and discomfort possible. Or maybe something completely different will work for you, like a train which can carry a heavy load, is strong and stable. I know mine aren't that creative, and I know you can do much better than me. So go have fun with it. And I just want to mention Kobe Bryant's alter ego again, because I think it's very unique and creative. Like I told you, his alter ego is the Black Mamba, which is a fast, terrifying and smooth snake. As you might have noticed, he actually gave his alter ego a nickname. It helps if you can find one for yours too. It's just important that you feel an emotional connection to that name, or else you won't get the benefits of it. But don't get too worked up if you can't find one right away. It might come to you natural over time. Next up, why does your alter ego have complete confidence in their abilities? Come up with a convincing story. I can try to give you a little inspiration if it helps. If we use the example with the milestones, and imagine that we chose David Goggins to embody these qualities, then we could write something like, my alter ego have completed several ultramarathons and won them. He is referred to as the toughest man alive and can endure every physical pain you put him through. Once you have gone through this second step, we're now at the last one. You will by now not have a complete and perfect alter ego crafted. You will simply have your first draft, and it's your responsibility to modify it over time. And that is done through testing. And I want you to start small. Try different cases where you try to use it and don't, and try to feel the difference between the two. You could test it in your next work meeting or on your next run, for example. If you're struggling to feel the difference, I will encourage you to try to reinforce your alter ego by activating it with an artifact. View it as Tony Stark's Iron Man suit. Mostly he doesn't use it unless it's needed of him to perform at a critical level. Then his suit comes flying, if I am remembering correct. By using an artifact, we are playing with our psychology again. Funny enough, Martin Luther King didn't need his glasses. He wore them to become someone that was more distinguished and intelligent. For me, it's more the clothes I wear. By wearing something that is more bold and I feel more confident in, I start to adapt the same behaviors. You could be using anything, like a pair of shoes, a pen, a scarf, or a penny maybe. I truly hope that this will unlock the potential you have within you, and you will finally be able to turn your life in your favor. Now I'm just wondering why you're still sticking around, not embracing your alter ego. Well, I actually already know the answer to that, and you do too. You're struggling with the first step, and so was I. That's why I have exclusively created this video to help you out. It's a video I wished I had, and I hope it will help you. Remember, the only difference between the top performers and you is a method. So start taking advantage of this method.